Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for Eden Zero, chapter 198. When we last left our heroes, Clown was walking towards Etherion and starting to open the door to learn what Etherion, or to get Etherion for Ziggy. We were going to learn what Etherion is. But then we went back to Valkyrie and Brigandine, and learned via flashback that Homura was not the loser at that fight. That a mix of overdrive and good timing allowed her to overcome Brigandine's defenses and shatter him. And she, was knocked unconscious for a brief moment, but she was the victor in the end. And did not die. For a second there I thought she would, win but die kind of thing. But no, she makes it through. She's alright in the end. That's sort of where we leave off. So with that said, let's dive right on into chapter 198, Nightmare. And our picture here is of Shiki in this sort of traditional Japanese robe with a toothpick in his mouth and a tree behind him. There's a man who values peace in the cosmos, and his name is Shiki. Chapter 198, Nightmare. We open back into Eden Zero. Hermit is being corroded from the inside by the Dark Star Killer's dying attack. And we see Hermit, on the ground, still getting corrupted, is the word I'd use, by Killer, as Clown sort of notes her as he walks by. Glancing at her in her agony, Clown acquaints himself with Eden Zero's greatest secret. So, yeah. I thought that the thing would only be down because the Shining Stars were down. Or, whatever barriers protecting Etherion would only fall because the Shining Stars were down. But, Homura isn't. Unless it's not really counting Homura, it's only counting the original Shining Stars. I don't know. He approaches the door, which might make us a flashback from his earlier scene in 197, but okay. He touches the door and comments, "Code 3173. Unlock." And we see, lines across the door as it starts to open. "Master Ziggy, Etherion is yours at last." And someone interrupts him. "Don't you dare." And it's Sister! Out from the beast's mouth. I guess this was not a nightmare. I guess he can just spawn beasts, I guess. But she's, a little worse for wear. There's a bit of cracking around her chest and, arm. But Clown just sort of notes her. Hermit, still conscious, notes, "Sister." And Sister turns to her. "Don't worry, Hermit. I'll fix you right up. Heal Atomizer." And that seems to, just stop Killer there. So I guess we're done with that, I suppose. Because she wakes up. She's, a little out of it, but Killer's suicide attack didn't work in the end, I guess. And Clown then turns to Sister. "Shouldn't you have been eaten by my beast by now?" And Sister just notes, "That's a hell of a way to put how I just got bitten." And we flash back to where we saw her last week, the paws clomped down on her arm, the mouth over her torso. And she just comments from inside the beast, "It's all over." And the beast looks confused, and Sister goes on, "You deaf or something? I said it's all over." Wait, maybe saying "hold it" would have worked better. Whatever, I'm done with this. And she just does something with her ether. Overheal, destroy. And, heals him to death. I think she's done that before. Or she keeps on healing until his cells just explode or something. Psh, you got no discipline, dog. And Clown mocks her. "You killed it? You're the life of Edens, and yet you killed a poor animal." And Sister just comments, "Yeah, right. That was a weapon made out of ether." So I guess that explains where the beast came from. Because again, I thought that was a sign she was in the Nightmare Mist, but I guess not. We still have not seen the fucking Nightmare Mist, Mashima. Let me see it. The chapter is titled Nightmare, so I hope we will by chapter's end. But anyway, Sister goes on. "Well, even if it was a real dog, I'd still train it nice and hard." And Clown tells her, "I see. I suppose I must teach you what death really is then. I am called the Death of Edens after all." And now she's caught in the Nightmare Mist. There it is. Bound by it, much like Rebecca was. Hermit calls, "Sister!" And Sister just notes, "What's happening?" And Hermit reads it. An ether boundary? Oh no, it's a virus! And Sister goes on. Sister tries to fight back. Status abnormality release. Dispel driver. But it does no good. As Clown notes, it's no use. We are the superior successors to you lot. Which is an interesting thing to say, considering he is the last surviving Dark Star at this point. Like, we're the superior successors. They're not very good at this whole superior thing. But the mist now, like, covers all of Sister's body up to her neck as she screams out, "Wah!" And Clown just tells her, "Have a good nightmare." And Hermit calls, "Sister!" And now we do see her in the nightmare mist, at last. And she's, like, bound in chains. And she knows, like, by all four limbs, chains connected to the nightmare mist like an X form. Ugh. And then she, like, just yells, "I'm not into this getting tied up crap. You are, and you know it." She's, alright, you know, of course Sister was going to make this a weird BDSM thing. And Clown tells her, "Rebecca was here until just recently, you know." What? Sadly. So, like, Clown is like a disembodied head here. Sadly, she seems to have escaped. Oh, but don't get the wrong idea. She only slipped through the cracks once Killer was done in. Plus, there was the whole Shiki came to a rescue routine. Now, there are no cracks to slip through, no one to come save you. All that awaits you here is an ongoing nightmare. Well, I mean, Hermit's right there. And if Clown is busy with Ethereon, like, Hermit could save her, couldn't she? I don't know. It's not quite clear how the Nightmare Mist works. But Sister just thinks, Rebecca was here? And she has an image of Rebecca, like, tied up. No more. Okay, Sister. Holy crap. Just the thought of it is turning me on. That's not the time for that, you horny asshole. And the translator gives us a wait, what? Like, the translator has never heard of bisexuality before, but okay. Clown goes on. There simply wasn't any time to show Rebecca her nightmare. But I have all the time in the world to show you. And it's not a terribly engaging nightmare. It's a bit of a disappointment here. Because it doesn't seem like tailor-made for Sister. He's just a big old, like, a weird fleshy face with, like, 3 eyes and a mouth and tentacles. And I don't like where tentacles are going here, because, yep, the tentacles are wrapping themselves around Sister. I wonder where this is fucking going! And she just screams out in agony. Ah! And then they enter her mouth, because it had been too long since we had some shit like this. I guess we have to go through it now. She's like struggling to breathe as she's just surrounded by the tentacles. Thank you, translator, saying, "Hey, yo, what the fuck, hero?" That's the vibe. And I guess it's out of her mouth now, because she then says, "Stop it." And then it looks like a bunch of, like, little tentacles with, like, rings of mouths burst from her chest. Which, like, admittedly, you know, I wish this imagery was more, like, mind horror and less ripped from a hentai. Because, like, the image we see... Well, let me get to this panel here. Because we see, you know, she's in pain as Clown comments, "Don't die yet. The real nightmare has just begun." And we see she's, like, cut in two. Like, just from, like, the, you know, torso up here. And that's a cool fucking visual. Creepy as hell. But cool, also cool. And I wish we focused more on that and not on the tentacle porn. But she just laughs here. This isn't really happening. This is a nightmare. Just some it was all a dream shtick, right? Way to spoil the ending at the start. You're so predictable. Alright, that's a smart move on. That's like a smart observation on Sister's part. Like, none of this is real. It's not happening to her real body, even if she's cut in two, as Clown has already told her. Sure, even if the average person knew it was just a dream, they'd still get trauma-level mental damage. But I'm a doctor. I even have a legit mental counselor's license. Got it online, though! Hold up! She has a fake degree? Sister! Good lord! But anyway, she goes on, as her ether lines start to form. You lost as soon as you dragged me into a mindscape. Now it's your turn to get dominated. And Clown realizes how badly he's fucked up. Direct link drive. Activate! And the illusion dispels, revealing the real Clown in the middle of the nightmare, and he's bound to this, like, you know, hands and feet bound. It's about to be some dominatrix shit, I know it. Well, what is this? And she requips into a dominatrix outfit. Alright, big boy, it's punishment time. And we see Clown's fear as she just whips him. Yeah! Ah! And, like, spins him on this, like, nightmare wheel. Glub, 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 glub. No! Stop it! And she just tells him, no way, jackass. I sentenced you to being my toy for life. Mental break! And, okay. That's how that ends, I guess. As, you know, Clown just screams in agony from that. And then we see back in the hangar, there's, like, a shattering glass effect. And out of it, the like, world shatters, or whatever's actually going on there. And Sister emerges, and she just says, on my honor as the life of Edens, your life is the only thing I'll save. Just leaving Clown there in panic. Nothing's actually happened to him yet, but still. Bondage and torture, with an endless mental assault, Clown the Death is finally defeated. To be continued, chapter 199, Saint Fire Nox. Is Saint Fire Nox the last member of the Galactica who's not here? Because I want to think more about that than I want to think about this fucking chapter. Let's see, Elsie's here, Acnoel. Yeah, the only member of the Galactica not here is Nox. And that's next week's chapter title. So, I think we have to talk about the Dark Stars now. Because while there were a few moments with the Dark Stars that worked, you know, I really liked the sort of mind games with Hermit and Killer. I did like the fight with Homer and Brigandine. But by and large, now that we're done with them, they just feel kind of anticlimactic. You know, I feel like even, like, the Oceans were, like that, they felt like more of a threat than the Dark Stars, who were just sort of, you know, if this, like Wizard's dead, Brigandine is dead, Killer's kind of dead, I think. Like, if I'm reading that scene with you know, the Hermit thing right, I think that's the end of Killer for good. But the wiki lists him as alive, and I'm also not sure the wiki is aware that this chapter is out yet, so maybe we shouldn't quite count that. I don't know. But, like, this does sort of seem like the end of the Dark Stars, and it is kind of disappointing. I don't know. Like, for all of their build-up through the Aoi saga into here, they just kind of go out. Like, individually, each of these fights work is the frustrating thing, but as a whole, this just kind of being the end of the Dark Stars, they just don't feel like they were terribly impactful. Like, for all of we're the successors of the Shining Stars, they just felt kind of there, I guess? I don't know. Like maybe they'll still get more to do, you know. Clown is definitively still alive, so I suppose he could do something. And maybe Killer is not quite dead, it's a little unclear. But, like, Brigandine and Wizard are definitively dead. And Clown and Killer are defeated. As the blurb says, Clown the Death is finally defeated. And it does feel like, you know, kind of shrug, that's it. I don't know. Like, like I said, the fights individually all basically work. I'll talk about this one in a minute because, you know. But as a unit, the Dark Stars just feel kind of anticlimactic here. I don't know. It just didn't really, I'm not sure it really works for me. Anyway, I can think about that later. Let's talk about the fucking chapter. I think this is the first sister fight since she fought Daichi of the Element 4. And, you know, I don't really like her fights. That's my thought on Sister. Sister can be a fun character, but her fights turn into dominatrix shit. And I've never been a fan of that, so yeah. But anyway, that's my thoughts on the fight. It is what it is. It's a fight. It happened. We're done with it now. I'm not gonna think about this chapter again. I don't know. I kind of want to linger for a moment on Nox and Aetherion, because 200 is coming up. 200 is 2 weeks away, and there's no way we're not getting something big for 200. The way Aetherion is teased, and the way it's been like imminent for the past couple chapters, makes me feel like it's going to be the big moment of 200. We learn what Aetherion is. It's been teased for so long. It's time to find out. But that also, we're tying in Nox before then. Nox is going to do something next week. We don't know what. It might be completely unrelated to what's going on Lendard, or it might not be. It might be Nox arriving, and every single Erasion, all 10 of them, are here on Lendard, involved in this fucking war, along with Ziggy. I don't know. It's also, like, what side will she be on? Opposed to the entire Stellar, I imagine, but also, will she side with Ziggy? Will she side with Shiki and Elsie? I don't know. But I can't help feeling like her sudden inclusion here, so close to 200, will somehow be tied in with Aetherion. I'm not sure how, but I definitely think it will. And I definitely, we're going to find out what Aetherion is soon, and I want to find out what Aetherion is, because it's been lingering in the background for years at this point. But yeah, all in all, I'm not sure how I feel about the chapter. I'm not sure how I feel about the Dark Stars at this point, but I'm excited for what's coming next. I think we're going to have some real good shit on the horizon. With that said, I'm going to leave this video off here. Hope you'll enjoy the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe. Do whatever makes you happy, And as always, your life is your own, okay? Bye!